G'day, Bomber fans, again for the third time today. Long time no see. Yeah, it's been a big day. We've had plenty of Zach Merritt news. While that's getting sorted out, because that is getting sorted out, we have official confirmation that a new player has joined the club. Brayden Fiorini will don the sash in 2026. This was expected really since that confirmation from Liam Pickering, his manager, that Essendon was his desired location. It took a bit longer than expected to get done, but there is a reason for that. And the good news is the squabbling that was going on between the clubs, it looks like it's resulted in Essendon's favour. So we not only get our man, we get our desired trade price as well. It's a good bit of business. Fiorini isn't a star or anything like that. We're not going to be winning our 30th consecutive trade period cup off the back of this deal, but it's a good value pickup for cheap. He should slot straight into the best 23. Let's chat about it. So Brayden Fiorini, unrestricted free agent. I don't need to go into heaps of detail about why a trade occurred rather than just a free agency move. If you're an unrestricted free agent, you can move wherever you want. No trade needs to be discussed. He could have come over for free, but that would have likely ensured the compensation we got for Sam Draper, pick 21, would have slid back to a lower selection. So the club instead decided to trade for Fiorini instead. That is the no-brainer. It caused a few headaches though. The Suns were hoping to deal in 2025 selections, picks for this year's draft. They wanted a third rounder in this year's draft to use when matching for academy players' bids. We didn't really have a pick later than 30 to give away, which, you know, 1 is too high in value for Fiorini, and 2 is not something we want to be using on a player anyway. We're going to be trading that pick away either for higher or lower selections, bundling it up to go higher or lower. But yeah, there was a week-long back and forth between both Essendon and Gold Coast, and in the end, the Suns caved. They accepted a future third-round selection for Brayden Fiorini, so we will enter next year's draft at this stage with a first, second, and fourth round pick, but have gotten a solid experienced wing option instead. Now, for those wondering what a third-round pick would equate to, because, you know, it's a future third, there's obviously nothing to it yet because it would depend on where the Bombers finish on the ladder. But if we had a third rounder this year that we sent away, it would be pick 47, so quite late. It's essentially... it's a bit of a nothing pick for a player who we have signed up for the mid to long term. And yeah, I think it's good business. You know, some will wonder why the club are targeting 28-year-olds. And it's for 2 reasons. 1, he is experienced, and 2, he is cheap. The Bombers are seeking out experienced players to help with this rebuild while also protecting the draft hand that we currently have. You don't just bring in, teenagers and call it a rebuild. You need to do more than that, and we've done that here. You know, there's no reason in the world to be annoyed by this trade at all, and most of what I've seen from the fan base suggests everyone kind of gets it. It isn't something that we're going to be holding out, onto for a while. Fiorini is hardly a big fish, but I'm pretty confident he comes into the team and has a positive impact on the field and off the field. If you asked me, I'd probably rather, if I would rather take a punt on a kid late in the draft with pick 47 or bring in a 28-year-old in good form with good character, I would say the latter. It's a cheap pickup that will give us a steady head and will help the young kids grow and learn. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not thrilled or over the moon by the pickup. I'm not going to brag about it to all my friends, but it's a good get, especially because there were other clubs keen. Gold Coast wanted him to stay. They had an offer on the table, an improved offer on the table. Port Adelaide came for him as well. In the end, he chose the Bombers. He returns to Victoria with his family, so our first official trade of the year. So what is Brayden Fiorini going to bring to the club? I've kind of gone into this already a little bit, but we're going to go in with a tiny bit more detail. So as a player, he is very capable. That is the way I look at him. He's just a really steady and reliable wingman. His gut running attributes are fantastic. That is his main strength. It is rare to see him not up the top of the distance covered stats. He is incredibly fit, physically resilient. He pushes hard, uses his tank to get into good areas, both down, back, and up forward. He's not that game-breaking winger like an Ollie Dempsey, or even, I guess, like Dersma can be at times. You know how Dersma and Clark are kind of the types to spread forward to be the back-of-the-pack marking target at times. Fiorini's going to be a bit more steady-paced, closer to ground level, less explosive, but he'll really help with Essendon's structure. He's not really someone who you chuck an opponent on to worry about too much. He's more of that role player who sticks to his role, very professional and measured, and is the type to really help plug holes with our defensive transition, which is obviously not only good for game day, but it's also good for the young kids to see, because they're going to see how important he can be in certain games with his role, and it'll hopefully rub off on them as well. Now, Fiorini is also capable of playing midfield, although I doubt he will much for us. He can I think he's mainly going to play off a wing for us, but he can play midfield, wing. He can play either a flank. He can play back flank, forward flank. So there's versatility, which is good as well. He's not an amazing ball user, but he's good. He goes from A to B. He's not going to be a line-breaking runner or user. We won't trust him with, making those precision kicks that a Zach Merritt would make, but he's trustworthy with ball in hand. I think there's pretty clearly a role on the wing for Fiorini. He's someone who will definitely help the structure of the team, and his ball-winning ability is really handy because we don't have heaps of those forward half players capable of finding good pockets and space to lead into. The best thing about Fiorini, though, is his leadership and his character off the field. We are really lacking in leaders at the club, and Fiorini has been a leader at the Suns, both in an official and unofficial space. He's a very strong character. He is, from all accounts, a terrific bloke, a family man, which is always good at the club, especially a young club. He's done a lot of work off the field in helping the club's culture, but also communities away from the club as well. And I think it's great that you not only have someone with natural leadership capabilities for the kids around him, but also someone who's played alongside and underneath some of the best ever. He's been a teammate of Gary Ablett. He was coached by a 3-time premiership coach, Damien Hardwick. He's had a genuinely good career at Fiorini that's flown under the radar a bit because of I guess he was out of the team for lots of the last couple of years, although this year he found his way back into that side and was playing incredible footy for the Suns. Now at 28, he joins the Bombers for a few seasons to try and help us get back up the ladder. And what I like about this is that it is cheap enough for it to be justified, even if he was to lose his spot in the 23 to a younger player. I don't think he will, at least straight away. I think he walks into our best 23 and plops himself on that wing next year. But in the future, in the next couple of years, if someone else begins to excel and pushes him out of the side, I mean, we lost a pick in the 40s for it, and probably gained a lot of leadership for some younger players. It makes a lot of sense for what we're doing. It is a needs-based trade, a cheap one, but it also gives us good leadership at the same time. It's really hard to complain about it. Now, some of the details on the trade itself, so that future third might not stick around at the Suns for long. They may look to offload that in a trade, especially because next year they do have more academy kids to match bids on. Archie Hill looks really good. I like him. We didn't get anything else back our way. It was just Fiorini for a future third. There was some talk about us trying to move up for pick 15. The Suns have that on the table. And to be honest, that could still happen. But I've always thought that and said that this trade should just be a simple pick for player trade. Nothing more on top to complicate things while the Suns are busy. Fiorini joins the club on what is believed to be a 4-year deal, so he would fall out of contract in 2029 at the age of 32. There were some suggestions that it would be a 3-year contract with a games played trigger for a 4th, but what I've seen and heard is that it is outright a 4-year deal, no games played trigger, and also not speculating who is kept and who isn't here, but this is a little bit fun. So Fiorini wears the number 8 at Gold Coast. That number is currently worn by Ben Hobbs at Essendon, who is out of contract and is no certainty to receive a lifeline or a contract extension from the club, so he may well end up in that number when he joins the Bombers, Fiorini. Now, he has had his little initial statement. He said the basics. He's keen to join the club, yada yada, talked about the rich history. He talks about leadership off and on the field as well, what he can do there. There will be a proper interview soon as well, where we see him in the red and black, which will be good. But yeah, just letting you guys know the news that you already know, really. I'd go into more detail about Fiorini, but I am too busy nerding out at my desk, and I need to have a nap. I've been watching the Merritt chaos unfold all day, but really, though, if we're going to sum this up again, it's a good trade. I know that some will see the age and be a bit confused, but think about this as if we are replacing I guess Dylan Shield's a good one. Replacing at least a Dylan Shield type figure at the club with someone from another system, fresh into ours. He's played with some of the greatest players. He's a great character, great leadership, fits a role on game day. It just makes a lot of sense. Some trades don't make much sense. This one really does. So, yeah, good business. Welcome, Brayden Fiorini. Cheers for watching, Bomber fans. I will see you again tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. All eyes on Merritt and what happens there on deadline day. Massive day for the club. I'll be posting updates here, I'm guessing, pretty regularly. This was my 3rd video of the day today, so probably means I'll have 15 out tomorrow. But yeah, cheers for watching. Welcome, Brayden, to the Bombers. Like if you enjoyed, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and go Bombers.